What is going on, everybody? Welcome to today's video where we are going to be spending a day in the life with a top-level Hyrox athlete, an ultra endurance athlete, the epitome of a hybrid athlete. It is Kris Rugloski. Did I say it good?
Yep.
So talk, because people should know. What do you got there?
Magnum peanut butter.
Nice.
I used to work out fasted, but I've read more and more like, especially women should not be working out fasted.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like intentionally working out fasted. That's my thing. I would like drink a bunch of water and I can go for several hours and then I'm like hungry. But I was like, okay, I should like pre-fuel stuff. So.
All right, y'all, we are with Kris in the car. We are headed to the gym.
Just on time.
What time is it?
3:48.
So what time do you typically wake up in the morning?
3 o'clock. Wake up at 3, drink a bunch of water. Putz around for a bit.
Okay.
Starting to breakfast by like 3:30.
Okay.
Head to the gym by about 3:45, 3:50.
All right. What about supplements? Any supplements in the morning? Nothing.
Not really.
Just like.
I've tried different things.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll do like some kind of hydration thing. Just
Okay.
for, like, I've done pre-workout sometimes, but it's not really my thing.
Okay.
Not
She doesn't need caffeine, y'all.
I'm not a caffeine.
Built different. All right, what's the name of the gym we're going to?
It's called Kula Sports
Kula.
Performance.
Kula Sports Performance. All right. We'll see you at Kula. We are already at the gym. It's about to get her first workout of the day, so let's get into it.
Let's go.
What's the workout?
Workout today, we're doing a little leg/sled strength workout. We do heavy push, 20 meters, sled sprint, 20 meters, and then a Bulgarian split squats and trap bar deadlifts.
All right.
It's part 1.
All right, so today's Wednesday, right? What is a typical week of training looking like right now?
Right now, I normally do, I typically do a run and a strength workout of some type every day. Right now we're doing, Monday is a lower body, Tuesday is a like engine threshold development day,
Okay.
Wednesday's another leg day, Thursday is a hybrid day, Friday is speed day here.
Okay.
It's my long day out of here, so. Because, yeah, that's like one part of all of them. And then those are kind of the workouts. And then depending on A, how the workouts go,
Yeah.
B, how I'm feeling, etc. I'll do like my runs outside. I'll get 2 thresholds, then a bunch of easy running.
Okay.
I normally get a hill run in, which didn't happen this week because we're kind of like on a, like getting ready into race. So kind of like backing off a bit.
Because what's coming up? What's the next
I have
event?
a Hyrox in a week and a half.
Okay.
And then a big ultra immediately following that. So
The week following.
yeah, so just trying to fit it all in.
Yes.
And it's always kind of, I feel like it's a little bit of like a Tetris game, like fitting all the pieces
Right.
in, depending on, there's even times where, like if it's a nice day, I'll want to get an easy run in during the day with my kids. And
Yeah.
so it's like fitting in, what do I need to get done in the morning? What can I get done during the day?
And you're saying with your kids, what does that mean? Tell me.
I'm a nanny.
Yeah.
So these are my nanny kids, to be clear, not my kids. It's just easier to call them, yeah, but my nanny kids. Yeah, I nanny 3 kids during the day. So.
Yes. So full-time job, full-time athlete, making it work.
I guess,
and
yeah.
crushing it.
Yeah, most days.
Do you enjoy strength training?
You know, it's not like my favorite thing,
Yeah.
but I'm learning to appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's not really my jam. I'd rather just go run.
Yeah. All right, she's gonna cue up the music, but fun fact is that she actually likes to listen to podcasts when she's working out.
Yeah, I'm just not music. I don't know. I like to keep my like brain engaged.
Yeah.
It helps me. I don't know. I like it. And podcasts do it. Music doesn't do it for me.
That's funny. What podcasts?
A bunch of different like fitness performance, a lot of kind of like self-help, just like
Self-improvement, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then several like trail running podcasts.
Okay.
Listen to stuff you should know.
Yeah.
Economics.
All right, cool.
I have a whole list of them.
But today we're being treated to music, I think. Lucky us.
Your lucky day.
Just warming up.
Gonna do 2 minutes on cardio. A little bit of stretching.
Thrown off a horse?
Pretty bad, like boat bruise.
Where?
On, like my hip, lower back.
Yikes.
And it's one of those like I'm really big. If there's something wrong, if I'm in pain,
Yeah.
like, okay.
Yeah.
Take a whole chill. But this is weird because I'm like, it's just a bruise. Like nothing I'm gonna do is gonna hurt it more. It's just kind of
Potentially. What happened?
She's spooked.
Is this your horse?
Yeah.
Okay. So you
Never
have a
fallen
horse.
off.
You've never fallen off a horse until now?
No, her. I've fallen off plenty of horses.
Okay.
No, her. But she spooked and went from like a run to a stop.
No kidding.
Immediately. And I was like not super paying attention, which is my fault. And
dang. Okay, so that's something to be dealing with.
yeah. But it's one of those like, I took a day off and then like, I just skied for a day and a half and like that was fine on it. And then I was able to run again. I was like, I'm fine.
So hobbies include skiing and horse riding.
On the weekends.
Yeah. Outside of the training.
Yeah, but like still every time I like lean forward too far or take a big step, I'm there.
Are you following any type of programming or is this your own?
I do my own.
Okay.
Heavily complemented by ChatGPT. My thing is like, I need a little bit of structure and a little bit of help of like, just kind of coming up with ideas, but I tell myself.
Okay.
I generally know what I need.
Yeah.
And
it seems to be
help.
working.
So, yeah. This has been since like October of last year.
Yeah.
Like,
okay. So you are though like doing some of these classes here and like doing, I guess, most of their strength stuff?
Right. Okay. I do their programming. Now, today is an upper body day.
Yeah.
And I do some upper body days, but if there's a day that I could skip, probably means I need to do more of it.
Y'all, she skips upper body day. That's against my religion. We'll allow it because she's such a good athlete.
I only need so much upper body strength.
That's valid.
My legs need a lot of work.
What's the weight on the sleds?
I don't really know.
Okay. Just stack those plates.
Pretty much. It's one of those, in a Hyrox race,
yeah,
they use carpet.
Yes.
Which is way stiffer than turf. So for a Hyrox weight sled, it's like way lighter, like it doesn't really translate.
Yeah.
So I pretty much do like a sled that feels heavy, a sled that feels light.
Okay.
I could do the math, but I don't know. And this is like not even really like Hyrox weight, but it's heavy, so.
So would you consider this like a strength workout? Like what?
Yeah, this is my like strength.
Okay. So are you always kind of mixing in some kind of cardio element with the strength?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, unless I do the workouts.
Okay.
But even then, a lot of it is like, it's not just like raw strength, it's like what can you do under a little bit of strength.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Did you write this workout yourself?
It's a group effort with me and ChatGPT.
What do you input into ChatGPT?
Different things. Sometimes I'll have to say like specifically Hyrox. Sometimes I'll be like, just sled pushes. It generally picks up if I do enough Hyrox movements. It's like, oh, you're trying to get better at Hyrox. Yeah, and then I kind of like, if I like it, I go with it.
So Kris, how many Hyroxes have you done so far?
I was keeping track of this, but I did recently see a number. It was right at about 30.
30 Hyrox races? Wow, okay.
That's including like doubles, relays.
Okay.
And I'll also do several weekends.
Okay.
It's not like 30 weekends.
Got it. What would you say keeps you motivated to keep doing this? Keep training like this?
I've actually thought about this a lot.
Yeah.
I've wondered if I'm just like ADHD, which is obviously like throwing around a real diagnosis. So I've wondered if it's just like an obsessive, like, I don't know. I think it's a very human thing of like need for routine and like recognizing that I thrive on routine.
Yeah.
And then I like to move and like the more movement I get, I'm never quite sure if it's like physically satisfying, mentally satisfying, obviously probably a mix of both.
Yeah.
But it's almost more not from like what I get out of it, but from like if I don't do it, I'm physically and mentally off.
Okay.
So I'm like, it's an addiction.
So what about
all
I
these
mean,
things.
like you could just train, but you like to race.
Yes, well that's because I'm competitive. Like,
Okay.
I like to, and it's, I don't know, it's like vibes. Like,
Yeah.
training is fun, but I would say also like I was zero athletic. Obviously I was like born athletic enough, but I did zero competitively until I was 20.
Okay.
And that was my introduction to really fitness at all.
Okay.
Was something moderately competitive, and that was what like got me hooked. So I'm not sure that's what like.
So prior to that, like no sports growing up? No sports.
No, I messed around. Like I played soccer with men's boys. Volleyball.
So not like on a team.
Never played on a team.
Okay.
As an adult, joined in a soccer team.
Yeah.
I played volleyball, but
So the first intro was what?
actually I did a Tough Mudder race.
Okay.
But that was sort of like it was a Spartan race that finally like, oh.
Okay.
Yeah. And it was kind of
triggered it. Okay.
But it was an obstacle course race.
Okay.
Where
and then you found out you just thrived.
Yeah.
In endurance.
It took me a little bit to like, honestly, it took me a bit to find the training piece, which I think is part of why like I've worked very hard to have this consistency, and so I think that's part of why like I've worked really hard for this.
Yeah. Hell yeah. All right, so done with 5 rounds.
We have 20 minutes, so I'm gonna do a 2K row.
Okay.
And then a little break, and I'm finishing with a 10-minute EMOM, 15 wall balls, every minute on the minute.
You have a full-time job. You are a nanny. You're taking care of 2 to 3 kids. Do you think you would still be waking up this early and doing like the training as you're doing now if you weren't a nanny?
I've thought about that. Again, on the whole like staying ahead of everybody else.
Yeah.
I really like early mornings. I'm like an early morning person.
Yeah.
Like, just my thing. But on the weekends when I am able to get runs in,
yeah,
at like a normal hour in the sunlight,
yeah,
I do think like it'd be nice to like do
yeah, yeah.
I guess I don't really think about it a whole lot. Like I focus more on just embracing what I have as opposed to like what I do otherwise. But no, I probably, well, honestly, I feel like my perfect world, I would get up early.
Yes.
And stay ahead.
Okay. You just want to be ahead of everybody.
And then I'd probably like take a nap in the sun.
Okay. Okay.
For an hour or two.
So then, like you've been nannying for several years. How did you get into that?
I nannied for the first time 10 years ago.
Okay.
I grew up with a bunch of younger siblings, and it was like at 17, 18 months into more work.
Yeah.
That was kind of the opportunity, and it's just something I'm good at.
Yeah.
People say back and forth on like, find something that you enjoy. You'll never work a day in your life.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Or also like, find something that you enjoy that other people is work, and like that's your thing. That's definitely what
that's
child
it for you.
care child.
Okay. How many siblings do you have?
I have 7 siblings.
7 siblings! Holy Toledo! All right, is this the row part?
Yep. 1K, 2 minutes.
What's the pace of this?
Generally race pace.
Okay.
I've been trying to work on my form and just like sustaining longer efforts.
So music doesn't get you amped up?
0.
0 ampage for music?
I like don't even listen to it.
No kidding.
Count a lot.
You what?
Count.
Okay, counting.
I started doing it during 100 miler.
Okay.
Like, doing my steps just to like get through it, like just to like make myself keep moving basically.
Okay.
And then I started kind of like obsessively, like I just count to like any kind of rhythm.
Okay.
Which I'm like, again, I'm like, I think my brain's just, again, I read when you count, when you, like it shifts your brain's focus instead of feeling, it's thinking. And so it takes it away from like the external, like how your body's feeling. And it goes very like internal into your brain of just like, like your brain is focusing on something else, which I think also is kind of where the podcast come in, like you can focus your brain on something other than the movement.
Sure.
But then I'm torn between like, well, am I not focusing on the movement? It's like, no, I think like your brain, if your brain thinks too hard, this whole thing of like your brain is just inside your skull. Like it actually does not know what's going on. And so when it feels your body, raised heart rate, pain, you know, like stress, it's all like, oh no, you know, it goes into like primal mode of like, something's wrong, we gotta change this. And so I have found like, when I focus on other stuff, it allows my body, like I can tell my body to do what it wants and the brain like almost doesn't interfere. So that's kind of my
It seems like that would work well for an endurance activity because you're just kind of like robotic at that point.
Yes. And it's a very like, it's not like I'm just completely zoned out. It's like, oh, I'm actually very zoned in to like every moment as opposed to like, you know, all the, because there's a lot of places your mind can go. So that's my, it started as just something I started doing and then I was like, oh, there's actually like a little bit of science.
All time, All right. What was it? How many?
It's a 10-minute EMOM, 15 every minute out the minute.
So the first thing that got you into like this world was the Spartan race. So what about it did you like, and like how did you figure out that you liked ultra endurance?
Yeah, well, that was the whole journey. But for sure, like the first Spartan race I did, I realized, or the first races I did, I realized first like, I guess the first thing I realized was I thought this was a big deal. And almost everybody walks at some point. So I was like, okay, brings it down a little bit. I also realized that, because I've had a bit of like imposter coming into this at like 19, 20, where I was like, I don't have any of this background. I tried to ride horses like semi-professionally and realized like, yeah, this doesn't work unless you have a lot of financial backing and B, a lot of background in horses. So I was feeling a lot of like closed doors. And when I did the Spartan race, like the obstacle course racing, I realized like just me being a kid and like a fairly active kid, I could do a lot of the obstacles. So I was like, I can do these, and like people struggle with this. A lot of people walk, so it made the running more approachable. And as somebody like hadn't run at all, it was like, okay, well you can run a bit, but then you get to do an obstacle, and that was like something fun. So it just brought everything a bit more approachable. And I realized like I actually have just as much advantage going into this as people who have been any kind of athlete their entire life. Not as much, but it felt a lot more, oh, I can get this. So yeah, it was really just like very low barrier entry is what kind of like clicked. And then, yeah, it was just as slow. Like at first I was like, oh, this is fun. Then I found out there's a competitive side, so I was like, oh, let me try. And I was like, I had a bit of success kind of right off the bat where I was like, okay, I am good at this and I can be good at this. So that one made me like, I should train. Now figuring out the training thing was a whole nother thing. But then it was a very much like, I can do this, and so like, what else can I do? And so it quickly went from like, I can do like a half marathon Spartan race to like, well, I could probably do their 50K Spartan race. And then when I did that, it's like, well, I could do a 50 miler. And like, it just very much escalated to like,
no kidding, And then
out, I can do
you also you were on the Titan Games? How did that happen?
I just kind of like sent in an application. Somebody had talked to the casting director and said they needed women. And I was like, I think I was barely a year into any form of fitness at all. I was at home, just sent in an application. And I think they liked, I was nanny at the time, and I think they liked the whole like, oh, like actually a normal person. I'm a pretty decent personality. I'm a pretty decent personality, and like I think enough of us kind of like, let's do this. It felt like a joke for the longest time. Because I was like, I'm a little scrawny, like basically a teenager. I was like 20 at the time. And all these people were like bodybuilders, all this stuff.
I think you were the youngest competitor, right?
The youngest female. There was one guy that was like a year younger. But yeah. But again, I kind of realized like once I was in it, like this actually doesn't take years of it takes like problem solving and like all the things that like I had, like I was pretty good at in some ways. So, and Spartan, like obstacle course racing, obstacles came into that.
So how was that experience?
It was really cool. It was like mind blowing. The entire time I was like, wait, I'm still here. Like what's going on? And for like, I think I was 20 at the time, and for a little like 20-year-old me, I was like, this is like wild. Like, how am I here? Why
how cool.
But yeah, it was really cool, and it definitely, I think that was in some ways kind of a turning point of like, it gave me some sense of like belonging and. Like I actually can kind of hold my own here, and it definitely kind of shifted. Instead of like trying to be something, I'm like, no, I am not anything, but like I am Kris, and I can do these things. It was a really cool. People ask about it. I'm like, oh, it's a TV show, whatever. Like it's a TV show. But I'm like, no. Like for me personally, it was a big turning point. Not because any kind of not because of like it changed my life, but it changed my perspective.
Totally. So in Hyrox, do you have like a favorite station, least favorite station?
Farmer's Carry is my favorite.
Your favorite? Okay.
A, it's easy. B, the year I won, it was like the tables turned on Farmer's Carry.
Okay.
Like, I've just got good memory. Least favorite Hyrox station, all the rest.
All the rest?
I like running. Sort of a station.
So would you say Hyrox is more geared towards endurance versus any type of strength, really?
Yes, it's strength endurance.
Okay.
So it does absolutely require a strength component, but it's not just strength, endurance. Like, so.
So then going into your upcoming race, which is next week, a week and a half?
Week and a half.
Week and a half. What are your goals?
I'm running doubles.
Okay.
With my girlfriend from Canada.
Okay.
It's Elite 15 qualifiers.
Okay.
So we're planning to qualify for Elite 15.
Okay.
In doubles.
What's the name of your?
Katie Simonson.
Katie Simonson.
She and I are both kind of like on the outside of Elite 15.
Okay.
So, yeah, we're like, I think it's our best bet.
Okay.
Did a training weekend and Pretty fit, pretty ready to push.
Yeah, buddy. All right, so we're done with the workout, yeah?
Yep.
What's next?
Now we're gonna run.
Now it's running time, because
and we're running outside because it's warmer than it has been. I'm about to go for a little runny run. Little run.
A little 5:45 a.m. post leg workout run.
Yep, flush things out.
How long is the run?
It depends. I have friends in town and their friends are here, so we shall see.
Okay, so. And what about pace? Are
about
we just
an hour.
Cruising, like.
Yeah, easy. Somewhere between like 8 to 9 minutes a mile.
Okay. And guys, because I don't know how to run, I'm just definitely can't keep up with this crew. Look at this sick freaking bike I'm about to ride. Kris set it up for me. All right, here we go. So we just jumped straight into this run. Do you typically have anything to eat or drink prior?
I normally I drank some water at the house.
Okay.
I try to eat a granola bar.
Okay.
But again, I'm still like trying to get better about eating. So I'll have a big breakfast when I get home.
Got it. That's meal 1 is after the workout.
2.
I guess we had the bagel with the peanut butter.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I generally like kind of spend a lot of time alone-ish.
Yes.
I feel like I do a lot of thinking. Especially I guess on like 100 milers. Think about a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it's a lot of time to think.
Sure is. And that's another thing too, is like, I feel like that has forced me to do a lot of like internal work, because I'm gonna spend 24 hours mostly alone with myself in the woods. Like, I would like that to be a pleasant place.
Yeah, totally.
I like my brain to be a nice place to be. Because of you.
Oh, yeah. What shoes do you like to run in?
I'm an Ultra girl all the way. Ultra is all I've ever worn. These have seen a lot of miles.
Yeah.
Hanging in there.
So, do you use a different shoe when you're doing Hyrox?
Yeah, they make a shoe for everything I need.
Yeah.
It's perfect. I have like the trail shoes for, I still wear Ultra for Hyrox.
Okay.
I actually have a carbon plated, it's their Vanish carbon
Okay.
shoe, which is newer. I was just running in a regular, but then their carbon plated shoe has good enough grip, which is a key thing so they're pretty cool. And I only wear them on race day. So on race day, I'm like, I'm flying.
You don't train in them at all?
No.
Wow.
I did a 12-mile run in them, and I kind of screwed up my knee for a bit. So it changes things enough. I don't know if I need to run in them more. Anyways, after that, I was like, just keep it for races.
Okay.
And then I get like that, like, little power boost.
So we did the gym workout, we did the run. What's next on the schedule for today?
I'm gonna eat a breakfast.
Okay.
And I start work at 7:30, so I have like 40 minutes. I normally kind of like change. Yeah. I normally start making breakfast at like 7:20 because I like kind of eat breakfast with them. So I normally like change and read or do something.
Is there like a go-to breakfast that you have?
I do 4 eggs, 4 pieces of toast, and an avocado.
Okay. I like it.
Either that or oatmeal, but right now I'm on an egg.
Yeah, right on.
I try to get the eggs.
Now it's like almost time for you to start work, and you are a full-time nanny.
I'm a full-time nanny, and I live here with the family that I work for.
Okay.
So I have kind of like my basement. I call it my cave.
Yeah.
My little basement spot. Yeah. So I have another like 30 minutes. They leave right at about 7:30, so I head up at like 7:20, 7:25.
Okay. Do you have staple supplements that you're taking, or?
Not really. I've gone through kind of spurts of like just kind of different vitamins and supplements. I don't notice a huge difference. So it's one of those things that maybe you don't necessarily notice, and I just need to take them, but I kind of fall off of it, and then a month or two later, I'm like, let me get back on that. So not really super.
So no like electrolytes or like some. A carb, like liquid carb supplement that you're doing during training, or
definitely not. Like I like real food. Okay. And part of that is like conscious, and this part of it is just like my preference. Yeah. So I think you get, well, arguably you don't get enough, but I prefer to try to get only nutrients from real food. Okay. Instead of like banking on all these supplements.
So no protein shakes?
I do sometimes. Okay. But again, like if I have eggs for breakfast, I think I'm good. Could I do more protein? Possibly.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I just kind of go by feel, and I don't like a lot of the processed stuff. And I look at some of the ingredients in there, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know that this is actually beneficial, like long term.
Sure. So from the nutrition standpoint, do you like track what you're eating, or are you just kind of eating based off of like hunger?
Yeah.
Just to fuel the performance? Like, what does it look like?
I actually struggle a bit with eating enough food because I kind of have this thing of like, I'll feel hungry and I'm around food all the time, and I'm prepping food for the kids and like, I'll kind of like eat a couple bites and it will satiate my initial hunger. And so I don't feel hungry. Okay. And I can sometimes go almost entire days with just like finishing their snacks and just cleaning up stuff. And then I'm like, I'm not eating enough. So I have to be very conscious of like eating enough. I don't track, again, like it just, I think it's a good thing. I think it would be beneficial for me. I just haven't gotten to that. I feel like that would be beneficial, and it is something I would like to eventually get into. But for now, I'm like, as long as I'm eating like 3 square meals.
Yeah. So, full-time nanny life. Today you're taking care of mostly one child. Sometimes you have 2. So walk me through like what those days kind of look like.
Yeah. When I just have the one, it's a lot. Like he's only he's just over 1 year old. So everything's a little bit more simple. We'll go grocery shopping. We do a lot more cleaning. Today we're doing laundry. I'm able to do like more stuff with him because he's just kind of easy and goes with the flow and like just wants to be around somebody every once in a while. Like right now he's just crawling around having fun, but yeah, so on like Mondays and Wednesdays, kind of my easier days. And then Tuesdays and Thursdays, I have the 1-year-old and the 3-year-old. And we'll normally do something more child-focused on those days. So yeah, today we have a bit of cleaning, some laundry. If it warms up, we'll try to get outside because I'm really big on like, get them outside, get me outside. Yeah. He's still taking a morning nap, so he'll go down for a nap in the morning, and then he'll take a good nap in the afternoon. So
Tell me, like, what are some of the biggest, I guess, challenges, struggles of balancing the full-time nanny life with full-time training, especially because, like I was saying, that the Hyrox are probably shorter events for you, but the ultra marathons do like a 100-mile race. That's a lot of training hours, right? So like, tell me about balancing the time to train with full-time work.
I do think there is a point where like more training isn't going to actually get you any better. And so like you think like, oh, if I could train for 12, you know, if I didn't have a full-time job, I could train for 12 hours a day. Like that would actually like not even be good for you. So I find that this like definitely segments my day into like, I'm able to get like me time fitness in for several hours in the morning. I spend all day then like, it's not like I'm not doing anything to work against my fitness. Like I would like sitting at a desk for hours. Like that could arguably be like, oh, this is actually like not actively hurting you, but it's more like, so I'm moving around. I'm all over the place. I am able to get in some jogs during the day, pushing the stroller. And I guess, it's just one of those things like more is not always better. And while it always feels like more would be better, I feel like there is a level of like, okay, you just have to be like confident in making the most of the time that you have.
I mean, you're training for Hyrox, you're training, still doing ultra marathons. What's your goal? What's your like overall goal with everything?
Honestly, my goal is mostly just to be hard to kill.
I like it.
But really like, I find a lot of benefits to movement and health. And to me, that's what it comes down to. It's like, I want to be strong and capable for anything. I do these competitions because to me they're like fun and they're a little motivating. And they're just like a good time. But as far as like, I have zero ambitions to like what I need to accomplish or what I need. I want to
being like the top Hyrox. Athlete.
Now, I want to be the best that I can be. And if I believe that I am capable of that, like, well, I will work very hard to get there. But it's not like, oh, if I could hit this, then I'd be satisfied. Like, no, I'm like, I'm not trying to reach or achieve anything. I'm trying to like, I guess it's more of like, it's not what I want to do, it's who I want to be. Like, I want to be fit and capable of, you know, running you know, throwing it down in a pretty like high level, intense competition, but also, I can go run for 24 hours in the woods. You know, like it's that kind of thing of like, I just want to be able to be capable and of whatever, all of it.
So some things that you do throughout the day are
A lot of cleaning.
a lot of cleaning.
Put the laundry in, cleaning the kitchen.
Well, I guess we could talk about your horse. Why not? So you have a horse.
I have a horse. She's like, yeah, it's like 25 minutes from here.
Okay.
And yeah, where she is, they feed her. She has food and water. And if anything major to her happen, like there's people there every day. But I I have to go and check on her at least several times a week, just to like make sure there's not like cuts or bruises or anything that needs to be taken care of. And just to obviously like ride her and hang out with her. But it's kind of nice because I don't have to be there every day.
Yeah.
And she's well taken care of.
And then you did mention to me earlier that you had an incident with the horse, where you
Talk about
you don't want to talk.
Got thrown off a horse on Friday. Yeah, and got a pretty good bone bruise on like my lower back / hip.
Then what? Like typically, if you have any injuries occur, do you go to like PT, chiro? Like what does that look like typically?
Yeah, I have a chiropractor that I see. I mean, even when I'm not hurt, I see like every week.
Okay.
Sometimes I go several weeks and then I get hurt and I'm like, I'm back. Yeah, but I see him and he does a really good job of, he's a chiropractor, but he does all of the like soft tissue muscle work first.
Yeah.
And so I've been seeing him here for almost 3 years now.
Okay.
And keeps me running pretty smooth.
Yeah, so weekly chiro visits are a staple.
Yeah, he just does a lot of basic adjusting, any kind of pain or discomfort I'm feeling, like, oh, let's look at that. And he'll just always kind of like, oh yeah, this needs to be worked on or this.
Yeah.
Just keeps everything running smoothly. It's one of those things, I feel like even when I was younger, which is funny because I'm not that old, but I used to be able to kind of just ignore things.
Yeah.
And like,
sure.
I just kind of work through it, it'll be fine. And I've found now like, no, if something's bothering me, I should probably get that looked at and like work with it instead of just around it. So.
And do you want to shout out who your chiropractor
is? Russ Sellers, Chip Denver, best chiropractor ever.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's been great.
All right, Kris, we have a little, I guess, downtime, if you will, because the baby is napping.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's time for his morning nap.
So baby napping. Yeah. Let's get back into recovery stuff. So you're talking about, you go to the chiropractor on a weekly basis. You have Normatec boots, you said.
And I try to do Normatec boots, I mean, probably a couple times a week for 30 minutes, an hour or something.
Okay.
I have started doing in the evenings. Sometimes I'll do like an hour bike, like down at the gym. An hour bike and then 25 minutes of sauna. Okay. And I have found I sleep like the dead after that. So yeah. That's been kind of a fun, because I'm a pretty, like I like to do everything in the morning, but adding in a very like low level movement / recovery in the evenings. Yeah. I've kind of been playing around with that stuff.
Okay. Also, you are in school.
Yes, I am.
So tell me about that.
Yeah, I am doing a online degree through Western Governors University. It's a Bachelor's of Science in Psychology. Okay. And that's just like a area of interest of mine. I would like to be college educated. That's something I didn't pursue when I was younger. And then psychology obviously carries over very well to what I do. Yeah. And what my interests are. Yeah. So how does that fit into your schedule? Yeah, I typically like during little downtimes like this, I'll get some studying in. Sometimes in the morning when I get back from the gym, I'll sit down do a little bit. And then sometimes in the evenings, I just kind of fit it in little chunks whenever. Yeah. And then a lot of times on the weekends, I'll be able to spend a little bit more time. But I'm finding, I mean, any kind of videos or lectures, I do them on 2 times speed. Like I'm a pretty fast reader, and so I feel like I get through the material and kind of get the gist of things and I'm able to process, obviously like as an adult learner that goes a long ways, but also just like my specific learning style. It's working very well for me. So yeah, I'm having fun. And I feel, it's kind of neat too. This is something I wish I had done when I was younger and just never had the time, money, drive to do it. And so it feels really good to like, feel like I'm doing something for my younger self. Yeah, I like it. And for my future self.
Post nap, walk time.
Time to get outside.
All right.
There's 2 nice parks within walking distance. So when I have the older kids, they're on like their bikes or scooters or something. But yeah, Miss Kris is here. We're getting down the park.
All right. Let's talk about Hyrox. And You know, it's a popular thing right now. I think it's, you know, having its moment, growing. A lot of people want to do it. What do you think is something that like sets you apart as an athlete that's helping you be more successful in that sport?
Endurance base.
Yes.
Goes a long ways. I think also like functional strength training. Like that's all I've done. I feel like now.
What does that mean to you? What does functional strength training mean to you?
Like a strength endurance training. So we're like training strength, but not in the aspect of like
maximal strength. Okay.
Right. It's like, can we move weight for a long-ish or for a period of time?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's actually kind of like the only way I'm still in it, to be honest.
Okay.
Because I don't have the running background and I don't have a strong strength background, and both of those like kind of make the.
You don't think you have
mix.
the running background?
Not the running back, like not the high school, college running background.
Oh, okay.
That these people have.
Gotcha.
Like, I do have the endurance.
Yes.
Like as soon as I got into running, I got into endurance. So I've got that piece.
Yeah.
But as far as like the top end speed, and I think it's at a point now where you have to have that like a bit like that top end ability.
Okay.
It's not just like just go for longer than anybody else, which it's never been.
Yeah.
But that worked to my advantage before, and like we're going too fast for that now. And this is where like if I hadn't run this morning, I'd like get a little extra distance on the way to the park and on the way back. Just to get a little run in.
Gotcha. What happens after this outdoor time?
He's ready for lunch.
All right, lunchtime. Like it. All right, y'all. We've made it back inside from the afternoon walk to the park. So it's lunchtime. Kris, what's for lunch?
We are having rice and turkey meatballs.
Okay.
With some avocado.
All right. Those look good.
Yeah, I made those myself. I'm very proud of them. I am coming back to cooking.
Yeah.
I cooked a lot as a kid. Took about 10 years off, and I'm back in it.
Okay. So what were you doing in between?
Scrounging.
Yeah.
Relying on others to cook for me.
Yeah. Let's get an in-depth look. All right, Kris, we finished up with lunch, and because we woke up at 3 a.m., and that's absurd, I'm having an energy drink. Fun fact about Kris, she knows how to play the piano. Yeah! She's still got it, folks. More than just an athlete, musician too. All right, before Kris goes and does some laundry action, why don't we talk about like if people are interested in getting into Hyrox, because it's like becoming more popular, people are seeing it everywhere. Being an elite level athlete in that sport, like what would you recommend people do if they wanted to get into it?
Okay. So it depends on where you're coming from.
Yeah.
I would say, I think what's cool about Hyrox is that it requires both strength and like running endurance, and a lot of people tend to try to like, oh, let's do strength but no cardio, or like let's do cardio and avoid the strength. You can't get away with either of those. So if you're coming from a more strength background, even CrossFit background, you have to run. Like, run more than seems reasonable. Yeah. It's only a 5 mile, well, I guess 5 miles is.
It's only 5 miles, y'all.
5 miles of running. 50% of the race is running.
Yes.
You've got to run. For runners coming into it, you have got to build some strength. Like you cannot just be a fast runner. There is no option for getting out of the strength, and if those sleds are too heavy for you, like you're gonna be there for a long time. Yeah. The pro men's weights are very heavy, and there have been men that take 19 minutes on it. So
no kidding.
Unless you want to spend 19 minutes, you should really do some sled work and just strength in general. I think it's one of those things. To me, it creates a well-balanced training approach. So you have to kind of get into all the pieces. Yeah. Which is kind of a lot of work, but at the same time, it makes things exciting and interesting and fun. Yeah. And if people had questions, maybe, and they might want to ask you something, would you be open to that? Like yeah. Now, if they did, where can they find you? On Instagram.
What was it?
Kris Rugloski.
I'll put it on the screen. I'll put it down in the description if you want to contact Kris with any questions about Hyrox, ultra running, just about her awesome fun life in general. She's there for it. But what's left in the day? What else do we got going on?
So we're at like 1:45. I'm about to put the 1-year-old down for a nap. Once he goes down for a nap, I'll take care of the kids' laundry.
Okay.
Get it all ready to fold and put away. And then I'll leave at like 2:30. I pick up the kids. I pick up one at one school, the other at the other school. We have about 30 minutes before the gymnastics start.
Okay.
So we always get some ice cream. It's like approved,
nice.
Required ice cream. So you do a little ice cream break, and then we head to gymnastics. Kind of halfway through, Mom comes in trades, and so I leave the older kids, bring the baby home, and I hang out here until Mom's done.
Yeah.
Or until the kids are done. Mom gets back. And then, yeah, I get off right at about 5:45, 6-ish, somewhere in there. And I typically then go to the gym and just hit like an hour of easy cycle. And then 20, 25 minutes of sauna.
Okay.
I shower at the gym.
Okay.
And then I come home and crawl into bed.
All right. And
that's about it.
That's so the evening routine then is like you do typically some kind of a cycle, sauna.
Yeah.
Shower, sleep.
I have found, I used to do like evening runs, and in the summer I will probably do more of those.
Yeah.
But in the evening it's like, it's nice to have a little bit of activity, but then also plenty of time to come down.
Yeah. So the third workout of the day.
Is that the thing? It's really a workout.
Yeah. It's more, so it's like a chill pace.
Yeah.
Nothing
it's
crazy.
Just, well, I do have, it's like intermittent hills. So sometimes and I do it at level 15, so I'm like, I sweat a bit, but I like sit and read a book. So I'm like, in my mind, it's pretty chill.
Awesome. So that's the full day in the life of Kris. Excited. I mean, full-time working, full-time athlete, and just absolutely crushing it.
Most days. Most of the time.
So, Kris, thank you so much for letting me in and letting me follow you around for the day. It was awesome.
Yeah,
I mean,
we had a great time.
Yeah, I did. So, again, guys, if you want to follow her, go on Instagram, follow her journey. She's going to be competing in the Hyrox in Houston. She's got what other races coming up?
After Houston, I have a big ultra race that I can't really talk about, but that's coming up. And then just more Hyrox. So
yeah, cool.
Yeah, lots of Hyrox coming up.
Exciting.
That's a little ultra interlude, but
Ultras and Hyrox. That's the name of the game.
That's it.
Love it. So guys, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any upcoming videos. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Go follow Kris. Get out there and run maybe if you're feeling it. But I will see you in the next one.